No, O20 is in the west building, but it is full.
There are 7 overflow rooms.
Wow.
7. They're not all full yet, but the other people, they're getting that way.
Yeah. Good.
Before a policy has actually been issued or even introduced, to have your voice heard. And that is literally the strength of our system of government is the voice of the people.
I represent the Salt Lake Chamber, and we represent over 10,000 businesses along the Wasatch Front and across the state. And from the beginning of the pandemic, our businesses, over 10,000 businesses, signed on to the pledge, the Stay Safe to Stay Open campaign. And with that campaign, it was committed to the health and safety of their employees and their customers. And with that, there were guidelines to stay open and find a balance between economic prosperity and the health and well-being of the citizens. And we applaud our businesses who took that and worked hard to find that balance of the economic well-being and well-being of their employees. We advocate businesses to have the right to make their own decisions in the best interest of their employees and customers without government overreach. And what may be prudent for one business may not be prudent for all businesses.
My name is Rob Moore. I'm CEO of Big D Construction. Located here in Colorado. First off, representing a construction industry with over 1,500 employees throughout the western United States, but 600 here along the Wasatch Front. First off, we are 100% in favor of vaccination. We are not in favor of mandating from the federal government. We are a very safe business. We are incredible partners with OSHA, which is going to be put in an unbelievable task of being able to administer such a mandate. I think it's important to know that out of our 600 employees here we have in Utah, 68.5% of those employees have been vaccinated, of our employees. We've got 19.5% of our employees that say, I will not be vaccinated, and you cannot mandate that vaccination to me. I will leave the business. Currently, we have 160,000 craftspeople in Utah, and we're about 20% short. If we have a mandate that states we have to be vaccinated, we will lose employees. Those employees will go to other industries or smaller businesses. This might be good for small business. The smaller businesses that don't require the vaccination. This will be very difficult to impose on the Utah workforce. Very difficult. We have current projects with the IRS, the federal government, that's already mandated that we provide 100% vaccinated workers on our project. It happened last week. This mandate is not the right thing to do for America, and it's darn sure not the right thing for Utah.
My name is Craig Madsen. I own a company out of Utah County, J&M Steel Solutions. We're a steel erection company, and we have over 100 employees as well. I followed this for quite a while on the requirements, what might be coming and how this might impact me as a business owner. I wanted to say I appreciate the chair and this council for putting this together, for listening to the businesses, listening to people. I think it's very important that we hear really what the feelings are in our communities, and I think we're getting a good glimpse of that here this morning. I'm with everyone that has talked so far as if people want to get vaccinated, there's a vaccination there, they can do it. The mandate is out of place. I think that as a business owner, we're a steel erector. Everything we do each day is serious, way more life-threatening than this COVID is. I'm not diminishing that, but I have more important things to worry about as an employer of steel erectors than vaccinating, see if they can get their weekly tests done. And I feel like this is a real big overreach, and I don't agree with it. I had a project that started last November. It went through January of this year. It was in California, where we lost tens of thousands of dollars to comply with California mandates. There we were not compensated by the owner nor the general contractor for those costs. We ate those, as a business. I don't think that's right. As a business, we've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars complying with this, lost production, the productivity that we have on job sites, the additional equipment we had, the social distance. There's so many different factors that we've had to implement to make this work, just to continue in business. And I echo what everyone has said about the labor pool. It kind of goes as a no-brainer here in our state. There's not enough skilled people that want to work that will come out and work like that. One thing that's not been brought up is the penalty side of this. I know we don't know exactly what's going on. They've touted a $14,000 per violation penalty. I think what's not very, which I think is excessive and unnecessary. What's not been talked about is the $3.5 trillion reconciliation bill on page 168 talks about raising the willful violation on that from $70,000 per incident to $700,000 per incident. You can't tell me that they want businesses in business with a $700,000 penalty. I don't buy it. For a company to comply with these things with weekly testing or mandatory vaccination and loss of employees, I think is going to put way more pressure on our Utah economy and the business owners as well as employees. When I look at this, what it'll do to our company, it will impact me as a business owner, it will impact each of our employees, it will impact the people that we have. We have contracts in place right now that if this goes into effect, I don't know that I could handle them. So we have to look at that and say, okay, if X number of people quit, then can we handle the work that's there? I don't think that should be an issue. That should not be something where we would have to consider. I would look to our Utah legislators and each of you here to give a big hard stop on this right now. And appreciate your interest in this. I'm grateful for the state of Utah. We have an amazing state. I appreciate the service that each of you guys do. I'm also concerned that when this doesn't work for hundreds, employers that have 100 or more, it'll be employers with 50 or more, and then 20 or more, and then sole proprietors. So I think this is not going to stop here unless we stop it. And I would appreciate your effort in doing that. Thank
you. Chair, thank you, committee. Jordan Clay, Ivans, Utah. I'm COVID immune. I have natural immunity. I've recovered. This mandate wasn't taken into consideration. My family is similarly natural immune. We have immunity that's more robust than anything we could get from an injection. It's likely that these injections actually impact in a negative way that natural immunity. I have autoimmune issues. Many in my family have autoimmune issues. We are 100% in favor of choice. The problem we have here is a very un-American, un-Utah effort to force personal medical decisions on people. We are completely against those. Thank you.
Alena Erickson from Centerville. My husband is one of our Utah state pilots, helicopter pilots for the University of Utah. Since this injection, he's had coworkers have heart attacks, high blood pressure, and seizures, and one of them dropped dead right before going to work. My husband is in the business to save lives, but if he jeopardizes his health, he will be a liability to anybody who enters that aircraft. We don't need our pilots and the people on that aircraft crashing to the earth. Lieutenant Colonel Long in Fort Hood swore an affidavit that pilots who have gotten this be grounded for the risk of heart attack after 3 of their pilots had pulmonary embolisms 48 hours after getting this. General Flynn endorsed this. British Airways had 4 out of 5 of their pilots at the very beginning have blood clots. VAERS report shows the tragedy of what is happening. This mandate violates the first, 4th, 5th, 13th, and 14th Amendments, to say the least. Your oath is into the Constitution and not to bind the people. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, Rebecca Colley from Sandy City. 6 months. Okay, well, once the federal government gets its grasp over the states' rights, they will never give up that power. Our founding fathers were brilliant. State rights pushing back against federal overreach. The president's unilateral decision to force American businesses to mandate COVID-19 vaccines as a condition of employment grossly exceeds his authority. Not only is this mandate contrary to previous promises,
but this declaration violates the principles and processes that are the bedrock of good government. That was our governor speaking. Further, he said, as elected officials, we will not turn a blind eye to this power grab, and we will do our part to uphold the principles of separation of powers and individual liberty. And I would remind you, all liberty is individual liberty. The Constitution wasn't written to restrain citizens' behavior, it was written to restrain yours.
Thank you.
And I really appreciate this opportunity to speak. I think I, along with many, see this as modern day Concord Bridge, where Americans are going to push back to preserve the independence from the tyrannical federal government and overreach of executive power. I'm here today to speak for medical freedom and hope that you will consider this a Medical Freedom Act for the state of Utah. Every person has the natural, essential, and inherent right to bodily integrity, free from any threat or compulsion by the government to accept any immunization. Thank you.
Thank you. Go ahead. Thank you.
Hey, good morning, everyone. My name
By
is...
the way, pull the mic closer so that it will give better audio. Thank you.
Okay, good morning, everyone. My name is Lane. I'm an occupational therapist. I work in home health. I was asked by dozens, if not hundreds, of medical personnel to come up and give my thoughts. I'd like to bring up a couple of points. First of all, I know dozens, if not hundreds, of people in the medical field that would love a reason to quit because we are all overworked and extremely tired. All those people would love to quit if they were forced to be vaccinated. It is against everything in our conscience. We've been telling our employers forever that this is not something we feel good about. You think you have a medical shortage today. Are you willing to lose all of those medical people? It could happen. There is lobbying for their staff. Also, I'd like to talk to the other healthcare practitioners who are vaccinated, who are now prioritizing vaccinated patients. If a patient is not vaccinated and they go to a hospital or a clinic, they have told me they receive subpar care. That is un-American, that is un-Christian. And this is the same people that want me to become vaccinated, and they're going to treat my patients that way. Why on earth would I? My patients who are not vaccinated recover faster. They do. It's a fact. Thanks for your time.
My name is Rachel. I'm a nurse here in Utah. There are other nurses like me here and nationally that have been trained to respect bodily autonomy and advocate for patients, even if we don't agree with their decisions. We now find ourselves conflicted because the job we love will not show us the same respect, despite the fact that other vaccines have opt-out options in order to accommodate individuals' unique situations. Not only will a mandate hurt the current healthcare worker shortage, but it will adversely impact the future of healthcare. Currently in January, the universities will mandate this vaccine for all healthcare education, which will affect the field in the future. Thank you.
Jared Stewart, Provo, Utah, local business leader. This is from the first principle of Nuremberg. The voluntary consent of the human subject is absolutely essential. This means that the person involved should have the legal capacity to give consent, should be so situated as to be able to exercise free power of choice without the intervention of any element of force, fraud, deceit, duress, overreaching, or other ulterior form of constraint or coercion. I understand that Utah's legislators are not legally bound by Nuremberg. However, you are morally bound by the lessons of our collective history. If you as a legislative body allow our state to be divided into two separate societies, vaccinated and unvaccinated, by endorsing these federal mandates, you will be ignoring the lessons of history and putting every citizen you represent at risk. If the Julian political leaders of the 1930s and 1940s had not allowed for classification, discrimination, and eventually dehumanization, they would have never ended up with polarization, persecution, and extermination.
Thank you. I'm Bruce, Kaysville, Utah. I'm kind of wearing two hats. One, I haven't heard anything about those who are unable to receive vaccines. I have a son who has a disability whose physician recommended that he not get vaccines anymore, and I'm sure he's not alone in that situation, and there doesn't seem to be an exception for those types of individuals who would be affected by this kind of a mandate. Also, as a healthcare professional, I think I need to address safety just a little bit. I've given hundreds, if not thousands, of flu vaccines, never had an adverse reaction at the time of administration. Within giving just a few dozen of the COVID vaccinations, we had a number of serious adverse reactions. It is not the same, and there are serious safety concerns. Thanks.
Welcome.
Thank you.
I go to school at UVU, and I fund going to school by working. I might not have a job at the end of this month. I not only represent myself, but also the millions of people who just want to be left alone. Okay. Most of us who have gone this far without taking this vaccine, we're not hesitant. We are 100% affirmative. Amen. That's all.
My name is Neil Schultz, and I'm a board-certified traditional naturopath, a resident of Hooper. And I first want to thank you legislators and senators for passing a bill earlier this year that restored and gave us some freedoms as a public and took away some of the restrictions that were heretofore in code. Thank you so much. I just want to say that we have had, somewhere in the history of this nation, there was a revolutionary war fought against the tyrannical government because of the outreach that they were doing, the severe overreach. And that is totally inappropriate here today, that overreach of the mandate of the vaccine. I also want to say that as a traditional naturopath, I have seen 20 times more people approach me for repair, let's just call it that way, than I ever did see from the COVID flu. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Lori McCall. I am from Hooper, Utah. For the last 19 years, I've worked for the federal government, so I am directly impacted. I had recovered from COVID last November, so my immune system is okay. I don't need to have the vaccine. I'm just short 10 months of a retirement, but now at the end of next month, I'll be without a job. So I've had to submit my early retirement paperwork, and thank goodness I reached the minimum retirement age. So I'm able to retire, but I'm gonna have to take a cut in my pension because I don't wanna get the vaccine, and I don't think it's right that we're being mandated to do that, and there's no consideration taken for those who have recovered and have natural immunity to COVID. So I'm here today to speak to you to please take our comments into consideration for the future of our families. Thank you.
Thank you.
I represent True Religion Pancake and Steakhouse. I have 60 employees. I do like to reminisce on historical figures in government. One of them says, the 9 scariest words you can ever hear is, I'm from the federal government and I'm here to help you. Trust but verify also fell off the lips of that great leader. And Americans typically don't like to trust government. We are here in force today to verify that these mandates are not upheld. I just got back from Sacramento. That place is boarded up. It looks like it's preparing for Katrina. Go woke, go broke. That place right there is pathetic. This is the place you want to be. Money goes where it's treated best. We can feed our families. We can feed people that are considered non-essential.
Thank you for those comments.
My husband works for a large company and feels crushing pressure daily about proposed medical mandates. He's asked to report his vaccine status every week. He does not want the vaccine. It goes against his best judgment, deeply held personal beliefs, and medical advice of his doctor. No one in this free country, where civil liberties and God-given natural rights are protected, should be forced to participate in medical procedure that goes against their conscience, deeply held personal beliefs, their best judgment, and medical advice of their doctor, to work and provide for their family. This puts excruciating strain, stress, and worry on our family as my husband faces taking an unwanted forced medical procedure or losing his livelihood, a career he's worked for 25 years to establish, and our only means of providing for our family. If medical mandates are allowed and enforced, what will then those family goes through? It could put my job in jeopardy, and then who's going to take care of my child? And if I'm injured from the vaccine, who's going to pay those expenses? Who's going to help take care of my daughter, and God forbid I die from this vaccine? Who's going to raise my daughter? I'm here as a mom, and I'm just saying, let us have our choice of freedom to choose what's best for us and our children so that we can raise them and be healthy. I just wanted to represent all of the parents here today to tell you that this is affecting our ability to raise our children financially and emotionally, and it's taking a toll on all of us. And I strongly urge you not to vote for it. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
My name is Suzie Bell from Lake Point, Utah. I'm here as a mother. I have intuition on what is best for my kids and what is best for my body, as does my husband and every single person in this room. The vaccine is full of toxins and poisons, and my family has a history of being injured by vaccines. My husband is fearful that his job will be lost because he won't take the vaccine. He works in the school system. And so I ask that you do not vote for the mandate of the vaccines, especially with jobs, because he is the sole provider. While I have a business and I hope to have employees, he is the sole provider and we rely on his income. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for being here. We choose what we want and how to get it. We have come here for the freedom of religion. We have come here for the freedom to choose what we want our life to look like, what property we want to own, what we want to do, that we can pick our jobs. There are many freedoms that we have here, but if we don't have the freedom to choose how to take care of ourselves, what's the point? Those that will trade security for freedom will have neither, and I will not trade that. Thank you very much.
Will you say your name? You can do that at first, if you would, please.
Sorry. Alden Evans from Delta, Utah.
Okay. Thank you, Alden. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, my name is Katie Bingham. I'm from Bountiful, Utah. I am an aerospace engineer, and I have worked as a contractor on federal programs in association with our Air Force Base. Now, as a full-time parent who is re-entering the workforce, I have worked for a smaller contractor that lost my job in early 2020 due to breakdown in contracting during the pandemic. It is less often discussed that Biden's federal requirement not only includes a mandate for employers with over 100 employees, but also for any contractors who work on federal programs. In my line of work, that includes any contractor that I might work for. I would choose to let go of the opportunity to work over the prospect of this vaccine. I will not be vaccinated. I find it difficult to understand how I could be part of an organization responsible for risk management of a large national weapon system while being not trusted to determine what is best for myself and my family's health, and not trusted to take careful precautions to avoid spreading illness. And as a female engineer, I fail to see how we can promote equity while also telling women that they can't make this decision carefully for themselves.
Appreciate this comment. Thank you for being here.
Hi, I'm Tiffany Barker. I'm in Lehigh. When a child has their parents getting divorced, we do everything we can to not blame the children. We don't want them to feel like it's their fault. We don't put the children against the parents. That's a healthy society. Last year, our kids were held hostage. They were forced in masks. They were told things like, you are dying, or you're going to kill my grandparents. You're going to kill my parents. I live with my aunt, and she's older. I mean, these things are my kids. I have 5 kids. They heard these things. Our kids heard these things at school. This is not their battle. We fought the masks because we knew the vaccine mandates were coming. This is a problem. The parents know best. Our rights come from God. They do not come from the government. Everyone has said it. You guys work for us. We appreciate the good that you do. But please know that parents know best. And it's our right to choose what is into our bodies and our children's bodies. This is not their fight. And the emergency use authorization is coming in the next few weeks for 5 to 12-year-olds. My kids all had it and did great. This is not their battle, so please don't put it on the kids.
Okay, thank you for those comments. So we'll take this one and then we're gonna go online. So, but go ahead, sir.
My name is Jason Preston, and I just want to say today I am very proud to be an American, and I am so proud to be in Utah on a day like this when so many people are standing up against what has become for the last 100 years, a slow decline of this beautiful country and this government our founding fathers gave us. The federal government is not God, it is not the source of our rights, and the federal government is accountable to states. When the federal government does anything that is unconstitutional, it is the duty of the state to say no. And it is the duty of the people of that state to hold the state accountable. We are thankful for those of you who stand for freedom, and I hope those at home who are not here today will see the power of the people that we do hold as the ultimate source of authority in this land. And I hope what's happening today is only the beginning of what is to come as we, the people, take this country back.
There's our capital. I wonder what the state song is now, but I used to know it. Utah, people working together. Utah, what a great place to be.